Mike's Daily Podcast.
How have we been? Wow. It's been over a week. Has it? I guess, no, it has been a week. Dang.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
So much for a daily podcast. It was a week that went by fast. I took a day off. We all need that in our future and our past, is to get away from work so we can say I had a day of rest, like in that Genesis on that page somewhere in like the second one.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The second, was it the third page of the book called the Bible? I don't know. Hey, I'm Mike Matthews.
Mike's
and that's the end of the song.
Daily.
What, you want more of the song?
Podcast.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. It's episode 1870, 1870. You know what? I think you and I have to talk, because I am seeing some things in this world that are troubling me. First off, I finished the Netflix show Stranger Things. Are you wondering about the future of Netflix? I am, because it seems everybody's going to be jumping ship soon, and that ship is going to sink. This is what, it's so funny, because in Silicon Valley, we've got a lot of doomsayers saying things about Netflix, saying things about Tesla, that it's ending. I was talking to someone the other day about how a Tesla went off of Crow Canyon Road. Oh, by the way, we're podcasting today from Podcastro Valley ton today. And someday I gotta get back to Podcastro Valley and actually podcast from Podcastro Valley. That would be awesome. So this Tesla goes off the road in Crow Canyon. I think this was a year ago. Goes down an embankment, goes into a pond. An electric car goes into a pond. So the local police are like, well, scratching the back of their heads, taking their hat off. Well, I don't know. I mean, what we do when Tesla goes into the water? Does that mean we gotta not go into water because it's electric?
And here's today's podcast picture.
I mean, y'all, I ain't going in there to get electrocuted. That's my situation. So what do? I don't know. I'm confused. So they had to call a couple people, and they found out, yeah, you can go into the water. Something disengages once the water hits it. I don't know. So they went in, and unfortunately, the driver died. I don't know. There's a million ways the guy died. For crashing, electrocuted, I don't know. Maybe he was dead to begin with. But at any rate, the podcast picture today is not of a Tesla, but of a beautiful scene at the Lafayette Reservoir. And say the word reservoir. Say it without doing the war thing at the end, because that's annoying. Reservoir. Basil hates it too. Thank you, Basil the boxer. He went with us. We saw some deer. It was sad. One of the deer was limping. I felt bad. I wanted to go out and help it, because I have this caring inner passion in me to care for people and things and to facilitate helping them positively. I'm a nurturer. But what happened was that I guess I don't know, he was still moving. But, you know, my dog can't move without my help, so I feel for him. Anyway, this deer was walking past, and I know if Basil had his druthers in his back legs, and I guess with me helping him with his back legs, because he's older, he's 11, almost, he would have loved to have chased this deer. But we saw these deer walking right through this pasture. But what you're looking at this picture, if you go to MikesDailyPodcast.com, my plug for my podcast website that I pay for, plosives, Amazon, if you go on Amazon, if you want to go to Amazon, go through my website first. There's a link, and if you do that and buy anything on Amazon, you help support the show, which I know you want to do, because you're like, Mike, you used to do the show daily, and now you're doing it only on the weekends. What's happening? Well, life, my friend, busyness, people saying, Mike. I had a guy call me yesterday, very nice guy. He's starting a radio station. I can't go into any more detail than that, but he's affiliated with a website that has a lot of podcasts on it, which, by the way, and I meant to talk to him about this. Perhaps he's listening to this show right now. I told him I'd do a podcast, and he said that there's this website that a lot of people upload podcasts to. And there's going to be a radio station broadcasting the podcast. Well, what's interesting is just a week ago, someone I work with named Masa told me that there's an iHeart station, which used to be Clear Channel, which they own a bunch of, probably where you are, they own like 800 radio stations where you are right now. And they usually say iHeart this, iHeart that. Which, by the way, that's an old thing. We had the iHeart this and that back in the, anyway, it seems like they made it a thing again. Good for them. But they're doing an iHeart podcasts radio station. So this radio station will play podcasts all day long. Now, this show ran on a radio station, but it was on an internet station. No, wait a minute. It was also on a radio station in Connecticut. That's right, Wolverine Radio. The guy there, Mike Minarski, played my show on the weekends a couple times. That's funny. I think that's how he found me, was through the podcast. And then there was another station on the internet, I think it was called knjo.com, that used to play my show, my podcast on the weekends, or just every day, I think, at noon. Because I used to work at KNJO back in the early 90s. That was my first radio job. Oh, no, it wasn't. My first full-time radio job. First radio job was Q105 in Oxnard, Ventura. Then Y97, Santa Barbara's Hot FM. I think the Q still exists, I think. I don't know. And anyway, radio's an interesting business. Okay, back to Lafayette. So this beautiful reservoir, and every DJ on the planet probably says that. How else could you say it? Reservoir. This reservoir has, on the opposite side of this hill, this beautiful lake that you can walk around, but now they charge you to park, and it sucks. It used to be free. Dang it, I hate that. Hate the Bay Area when you got to pay for everything, and it costs too much. So we parked there real briefly, walked Basil the Boxer around a little bit. A couple people said, "Oh, my dog is also losing control of his back legs. I might do what you're doing with the harness." Where did you get it? I got it on Amazon. Go through MikesDailyPodcast.com, though, first before you buy it on Amazon. And I think you look for a help hip harness, or it's a dog harness, but you don't want the one that goes around their front arms as a leash. You want it to hold them up. I think it's a rehabilitation harness, maybe. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valentino. And the reservoir is very nice and beautiful, and I want to go back soon. So this was a beautiful day with my lovely lady friend. I was talking to my lovely lady friend yesterday about what this podcast is about and how it's very difficult to discuss what this podcast is about. And I told her, because she was driving the car, and I said, yeah, it's like this podcast is about me going, why do people slam on their brakes and take up the whole lane when they could move over to the right and slow down and let you go around them? But no, they got to stop in your frickin' face. In the Bay Area, people have no conjunction, no punction, no confunction about stopping in front of you and just turning on the hazards or just slamming on the brakes. It's a wonder we all don't have the back part of our fenders completely ripped off, and wrecking repair shops abound in the Bay Area. But yeah, why do people just slam on? They have no consideration about the people behind them. Oh, they'll slam on their brakes. I know like 90% of the drivers out there, especially in the Bay Area, it's 99% of the drivers do that. They just slam on their brakes in front of you. I hate driving in the Bay Area. So, I said to her, this is the sort of thing we discuss on my Mike's Daily Podcast show. And she said, yeah. And she needs to be back on another show. We were having a very passionate discussion the other day, and I said, this can go on the podcast. And she said, nah, maybe. So back to Stranger Things. So it's really gory and icky. The last episode is particularly icky and gory. But it's all Goonies. It's Goonies meets gore meets 80s, and a lot of the song by Lamal And I won't say what song it is because you're like, Lamal, who's Lamal? He was in the band Kaja Gugu. Anyway, a song that he did in the 80s that barely was a hit on the charts gets sung in this season by some of the characters, and it's hilarious. So I guess that now is Netflix shaking in their shoes because everyone's jumping the ship. Soon all the DC stuff is going to be on, the Warner Brothers network. All the Disney stuff is going to be on the Disney network. All the sitcom stuff is going to their own channel. All the like Friends and Office, that's moving away. And yeah, everybody's going to start their own Netflix and take on Netflix. Netflix's stock got so high, like Amazon, like Tesla. Only of those three, Amazon's the one that just, I think, is never going to end. But this isn't a stock talk type show. This is about you and about nurturing. And do you have that nurture feeling in you to help people, that you care? Do you care about the person behind you as you're driving? Do you slam on your brakes? Do you think people need to care some more? You can call me 3 + 3 = 6 Daily. That's 336 Daily. Hey, look who's out here. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. Hi, how you doing?
And Disgruntled Fiddle Player tell you what?
What?
I think that people need to watch it when they're driving and not smash into the back of my truck.
Exactly. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mark. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now.
Thank you. Yes, root beer. Hey, I got a Mike excursion going on a little bit later on. Maybe these guys will join me. We're going to be heading over to Point Isabel near Richmond and Albany and all that today and take the wonderful Basil the Boxer on a little walk. Because it's beautiful weather in the Bay Area. And I feel like since I've been nurturing so many people, I need to nurture myself, which is what we have to do. Oh, the phone's ringing. I gotta go. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. MikesDailyPodcast.com. Check it out. Tell all your friends about the show. Adios. Hold on, I'm coming. Oh, it's so beautiful out here. And don't forget, I am on the radio tomorrow morning between 6 a.m. and noon on the radio station 92.1 KKDV. Listen to the shows Sunday mornings is when they happen, 6 a.m. to noon. And you can also catch it on their website, kkdv.com. But now it's Ariel to tell us about the website that's so great. Oh, they hung up.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh, I guess I am on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen to Mike's Daily Podcast there and listen to my show that's going to be happening on 92.1 KKDV on that iHeartRadio app. And of course, always tell all your friends about MikesDailyPodcast.com.